Okay. So I thought I'll make a video. Haven't made a video in a while. Uh, I'm just trying to just live my life. It's just so exhausting. It's so exhausting having to do chores and cook my food and make my food, eat my food. I'm just exhausted. Um, anyway, but I'm sort of getting better at it. Uh, I don't know. Let's just leave all of that. I don't want to talk about that. I have been watching a lot of videos on UFOs, aliens. Recently, I started trying to get some information about Billy Meyer. I think there's something to this. I think I read some of his writings. Like he sounds like an intellectual. When you read his writings, um, I get the impression this guy is a very thoughtful person. He's an intellectual. Like when you read his writing, it's complicated. It's dense. Billy Meyer is a UFO contactee. He has all these videos and photos about UFOs, and he's had uh there's some controversy saying, oh, is this all real or not, but I think there is some validity to his messages. I'm not The thing I personally would always question is, you see, Billy Meyer might be telling the truth, but the question I personally have, and this is just my opinion, are the aliens telling him the truth? Are the aliens lying to him? Are the aliens manipulating him? So that's the question I have. It's like, because I feel like when you listen, I am kind of suspicious about what the aliens are saying, because I'm not sure if they're being honest. They could be lying. And if they're lying, why are they lying? So that's the only caveat I have. Let me just let's talk. This is blog. So this is blog where you can read some of his writings. Uh, this person, Michael Horn, he did a video, like, here's some articles, and he's got this whole organization which has, I mean, he's written so much. Like, he's got this thing called contact notes, and contact notes is basically when the aliens come to, the aliens are from they're human-looking extraterrestrials from Pleiades, and these contact notes are like he would have conversations with them, and he would just write it down. Apparently the aliens record what their conversations in some device or something. And anyway, there's some very, I only read a little bit, but there's this organization called FIGU, FIGU, and they've got a lot of articles. Anyway, so you guys can do the research if you want to. Um, if you want an introduction to Meyer, by Michael Horn. MUFON presents the singularly authentic Billy Maya UFO contact. It's a good introduction. Um, and then there's this other person called Randall. Some forgot his name. He did this whole. I think he's an American. He went to and he actually interviewed Billy Meyer. Billy Meyer is still alive, and he's still doing contact notes. He's still in contact with them. He's in his late 80s, I think. So he's still having contacts, and he's still you can still get the latest contact notes, which is the conversations with these ETs. So um, it's interesting. And I've been watching a lot of stuff. This Pascagoula alien abduction. From in IO Cinema, which is a very fantastic channel. So far, a lot of the information I've consumed has, like, I haven't really done a lot of research into the abduction, but I think now, uh, having, uh, you know, Pasca, how do you pronounce Pascagoula? Like these, just normal people, Pascagoula UFO abduction. Pascagoula. Here's a playlist from ISIS, and here's another one of it. This is an Australian abduction. This is very significant. The Cahill. I don't. There were three independent sets of witnesses. People didn't know each other. They saw the same event, and I would recommend this one as well. It's pretty good. Abduction. So, you know, I think, I'm not sure if this happened to me, but I've spoken about this in 2023. Shortly after I found out these UFOs were real, after the David Grush hearing, and I became obsessed with this topic. I was consuming information. I was just totally obsessed with it. I had these strange experiences, where I don't know which order. I think I want to tell you about them, about these strange experiences. I'm not sure which order, they could be in different order, but there are three things. One, I remember seeing this flash, like a light bulb, when I was outside, and I was just feeling awful. And I saw this flash like once, and I was like, wait a minute, what the hell is that? It was like a light bulb went off in the sky. I was like, is that a plane? And I looked at it, and then it flashed again. I was like, what the hell is that? I couldn't see, like, how planes, they go like that, yeah. And again, flash, and that's it. There's three flashes. That was very weird. Okay, that was weird. And then I had this very strange experience when I think I was taking a nap or something. It was in the evening, or sometime 9 maybe, I don't know. I was lying in bed, and then I think I was already asleep. And I don't know if I was asleep or half asleep, but I was in this weird state where, like, it was not in this house, it was the other house, before I moved here. It was in 2023, right? Anyway, so there's a window, right? And outside the window, like further, maybe a kilometer away, I think there is some kind of a sports field or something, and you can hear the people playing, I don't know, soccer or whatever they were. I could hear these noises, in my sleep or half asleep. I felt like my consciousness was moving out and going through the window, and that noise which was like maybe a kilometer away or half 500 meters away. It was very far. The noise outside was coming in, and my consciousness was going out. It's like this weird, like when you see a movie, you get you get those weird shots where the scene is moving in like that, and this is how it felt. Like it felt like something from the outside was coming in, and my consciousness was going out. And right about that time, I felt like someone was trying to grab my arm, and I couldn't move my arm. I felt like I was like paralyzed, and I felt like someone was trying to grab my arm, and I was like I was trying to yank my, like, hold it back. Like I didn't want this person or whatever it was trying to grab my arm. And because I was struggling, I felt paralyzed. I couldn't move my arm. I was just so frustrated and upset that I couldn't move my arm. I don't know, maybe because my arm was underneath my body. I don't know, maybe, but it felt like my arm was stuck. It could be because my arm was underneath my body, but I felt like someone was trying to grab it, and I just I woke up because I was struggling. I was struggling, and right about, I don't know if it was the same day or maybe a few days, and I got up again. I was lying, and I got up because I felt like I got an electric shock. And the electric shock I got was, the wall is like next to my bed. And I felt my finger touched the wall, and I got an electric shock. I actually felt an electric shock, and I got up from it. So, and then underneath my left calf, there's this sort of this mark. I don't know where this mark came from. It's like a dark, it may look triangular, but it looks very, it's a mark. I don't know where this mark came from. So I was like, the point I'm trying to make is, did I experience an abduction? Was some alien or interdimensional being trying to grab me? When I had that experience of my consciousness leaving my body and going out into the sea, was that something like an abduction thing? Because when these abductions happen, people float through walls, and you hear this and you think this is ridiculous. You know, I didn't think that. But when I heard people saying, "Oh, when the UFOs come, they like there are beams and the beings float," and when you hear things like this, you think, "Come on, that's just." But this, I saw there's this video of this person who's, there was a witness to an abduction where this abductee was like taken through a window. There was the brush was singed. This is a news report. I'm like, oh my God. And there's this other case where these 12 miners watched an elk getting, like a UFO came down. It used some kind of a beam to pick up an elk and took the elk. And then 12 people witnessed this. Let me do that elk thing. That was like 12 people saw the elk getting abducted, like miners. These are just like forestry workers. They were just like totally like, they saw an elk getting beamed up by UFO. And then now I'm thinking, okay, this beam stuff, this beaming up stuff. Okay, because if you don't do the research, you think, oh man, uh, you know. Okay, this is the one where getting abducted through the window, the beam. There was a beam, and this other person saw this person getting pulled through the window. Oh, anyway, man, there's some really strange. This is the beam. Okay, this is the one where you're getting abducted, abducted through window with a beam, and where's the one with the elk? 'Cause that was really. really something. Uh, oh yeah, elk abduction. Anyway, this is the elk abduction, I think. Uh, so what are these aliens doing? They're abducting people. They're examining them, and maybe even sometimes, you know how people go missing. Maybe the aliens took them, or they went through portals. I think there's a there's this missing 411 thing. There's this person who goes and uh, talks about that. This is another good talk about how the aliens are deceptive. You know, the aliens deceptive. They have an agenda. So I don't know what's going on. You know, but anyway, I find this topic very, very. I'm totally obsessed with this topic. Uh, you know, so what's going on? You know, on one level, I feel like, you know, when I read some of this Billy Meyer writings, he talks about like how the purpose of life is to evolve your soul, to have a spiritual evolution. It's like according to Billy Meyer and his contacts, apparently our soul lives for 70 billion years, and during the 70 billion years it reincarnates continuously. So you might have what, 10 billion lives, was it, or seven, anyway, 7 billion, I don't know. You might have millions of lives, and apparently the average age of the human on earth right now in terms of their spiritual age is 100 million years, our soul. um, and we keep constantly reincarnate, and the universe is like 300 trillion years plus, and then it expands and contracts 7 times. I'm like, I don't know what to believe. I don't know what's going on. Um, Something's going on. Lots of people, civilians, military, you know, that they talk about military abductions, because sometimes when people have abductions, they see humans in military uniform speaking English. So I think a part of the U.S. government, the deep state or whatever, the secret part which is managing this topic, I think they might be working with some aliens to manage the abduction process. Maybe the aliens are going to abduct no matter what, and maybe some kind of arrangement has been made saying, okay, if you're going to abduct humans, we want some human observers there just to make sure you don't do anything bad or evil or hurt people or something. That's possible with some alien factions, who knows. um and there's also this idea that humans don't necessarily did not evolve on this planet, but humans are like all over the universe and other planets, like from the Pleiades. They look humans, but you know, they live like for 5,000 years and they're more telepathic. I think our ancestors, our human ancestors, probably lived much longer. I think our age has been artificially and deliberately shortened, perhaps as a control mechanism. And our telepathic has also been nullified, again, to control us. Maybe in the past, when we lived longer and were more telepathic, there were all these wars, and then, you know, Atlantis, and we could control advanced technology, and we destroyed the planet or wiped up civilization. So some of the survivors realized, oh, wait a minute, we can't let these humans run around with all of this advanced abilities, because they end up warring with each other. And so as a safety mechanism, maybe they did something to our genes. to a virus, like a virus is probably the easiest way to spread, this genetic change. Maybe they introduced the virus, and the virus changed the genome, and our future offspring, they lived shorter and they were not as telepathic. You know. Anyway, so, oh man, I don't talk. So when I talk, my voice starts to hurt. My throat starts to hurt. My throat starts to hurt because I don't talk. So it's like, because I don't have anyone to talk to. So, uh, not that I want anyone to talk to, because it's like, I just want to. Anyway, I think I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I have to evolve my soul. I mean, if reincarnation is true, and if I'm going to come back, and I'm going to keep on coming back until I evolve spiritually. I mean, what does that mean? It means learning patience, learning how to exercise power, the power to create, the power to destroy, learning how to be responsible in the exercise of power, because we're sovereign beings. When we live with other sovereign beings, we have to learn how to coexist. You know, I feel like being human is such a difficult thing. It's like some people say that we're containers for our souls, and it's like how when you age fine wine in a container, the longer it stays in the container, the more the wine becomes better. So the more time you spend in the human body having a human experience, your soul grows because of the hardness of life. It causes you to develop spiritually, patience, uh, learning to nurture, care for something. I mean, people are so, these days, when you go to social media, everyone was like wants to destroy, tear people down, throw mud. But it is so difficult to build something. When you want to build something, you have to believe in it, you have to nurture it, you have to spend time on it, you have to care about it. And I feel like, that's what the faith is. Faith is to believe in something. If you don't believe in something, you cannot do it. If you don't believe in life, you cannot do life. you know I struggle with this. I struggle with belief. I struggle with living, trying to live, trying to care. I'm trying to care about myself, trying to care about my life. I struggle with caring about my life. I struggle with that. Um, and I feel like, but then, other times I feel like, oh, this is just emotional torture. Why are you putting me through this? I hate this. Don't put me through this. This is just, what if reincarnation is true? What if you come back? Apparently you spend like 150 years on the other side, and then you come back. So I feel like I might as well make the most of it. I mean, if reincarnation is true, if I'm going to be coming back again and again until I evolve spiritually, I might as well try and make the most of this life and try and grow spiritually. Learn patience, learn to be kind, and it's like nurturing something. You know Life is fragile. When you start caring about something, it's like uh, it's so easy for that thing you care about to be destroyed. It's so hard to care about something because it's like it's so fragile that when you care. And I feel like that's, it almost feels like emotional torture. You want me to care about this, but this thing is so fragile. It can break so easily, and you want me to care about something that can break so easily. You know how twisted that feels like? Is it some kind of a perverse game? Are the aliens just laughing at us and look at those humans? I don't know. Maybe they're not laughing. Maybe that's just me being very cynical. Uh, anyway, life is difficult because when you start caring about it, it's like it's like it's not easy. But I feel like that's my caring about my life, about myself. It's like a challenge. You know, like doing these chores, like these mundane things, eating, making sure I eat properly, do my chores. That's like caring about myself, caring about the health of my body, just taking care of myself, you know. That's an act of caring. You know, there's self-neglect and, um, you know, I feel like, I don't know, you know, is reincarnation real? I mean, lots of people have said it, you know. Like that person who got abducted in that Pascagoula case, he says, you know, I didn't believe in reincarnation, but now I do, you know. Did the aliens tell him that? I don't know. I mean, the aliens do tell there is reincarnation. Even I think even Billy Maya says there's reincarnation. Anyway, uh, I don't know if it's true, but what if it is? Then I might as well make the most of this life and try and grow spiritually, even though it's so difficult. It's difficult to grow spiritually.